What makes some people move through life achieving the impossible, while others stay stuck in the same place for years? Is it luck, talent, or destiny? Napoleon Hill was blunt. It's none of these. The true starting point of all wealth is desire. Not the fragile kind of wish that says, "I'd like to have," but a burning desire, so intense it becomes a command to the mind and fuel for action. And that's exactly what you're going to discover today. How to transform a vague want into a force so powerful the world cannot ignore it. Why some people quit just inches from success, while others hold the flame long enough for it to ignite real results. By the end of this video, you'll have clarity on how to start your own journey toward wealth, beginning with the same first step that shaped every great conqueror: a definite, non-negotiable desire. For Napoleon Hill, desire isn't a weak want. It's an inner fire that refuses alternatives. It's not daydreaming. It's turning a thought into a mental order. A burning desire is so specific and so intense, it functions like a psychological command. It will happen. Most people confuse desire with hope. They say, "I want to be rich. I want to be happy." But deep down, it's only a passing daydream. And that kind of wanting dies at the first obstacle. That's why most never move forward. Because their "I wish" was never a true "I will." What separates winners from wanderers is giving shape to desire. Hill teaches: define exactly what you want. Decide what price you're willing to pay. Create a plan and act on it immediately, even if imperfect. Read your written goal aloud every day until your mind accepts it as inevitable. Once desire becomes definite, the mind starts working like a magnet. You begin to notice opportunities that never existed for you before. Your subconscious aligns with your purpose and turns every action, every decision, into a step toward the result. The difference isn't talent, it isn't luck. It's the intensity with which you sustain a desire until it materializes. Chapter 2 of Think and Grow Rich is a call to arms. You either treat desire as a casual wish or as the absolute law of your destiny. Imagine an archer drawing the bow. Without locking eyes on the target, every shot is luck. But when the focus narrows to one single point, the arrow inevitably finds its path. That's what definite desire does. It transforms scattered energy into precise direction. Hill makes it clear. Every great achievement in history began this way. Before electricity, before airplanes, before the internet or empires, everything started as a clear, non-negotiable idea. Edison didn't hope to invent the light bulb. He failed thousands of times but never quit, because his desire wasn't to try, it was to build it, no matter what. The Wright brothers weren't wealthy, sponsored, or respected scientists. But their burning desire to fly outlasted the doubts of the experts, and the impossible became real. The pattern is clear. Definite desire doesn't wait for perfect conditions. It creates them, and it's not just history. You've seen this in real life. The student who breaks through barriers to become the first in their family to graduate. The athlete who trains in silence, without support, until they stand on the podium. The entrepreneur who clings to an idea everyone called madness, until it becomes a million-dollar business. They all share one thing. It wasn't a vague hope. It was a clear vision sustained by relentless action. This is what Hill calls feeding desire until it becomes a creative obsession. Here's the most persuasive part. When you define exactly what you want, your mind acts like an invisible filter. What once passed unnoticed suddenly screams in front of you. If you desire opportunity, you'll see it where others see only obstacles. If you desire a path, you'll find shortcuts where others see walls. It's not magic. It's focus plus persistence. That's why Hill says desire is the starting point of all achievement. It doesn't matter if you begin without money, without context, without status. If you have absolute clarity, are willing to pay the price, and persist to the end, the impossible bends to your determination. Why does this matter? Because most people live with shallow wishes. More money, a better life, recognition. But those wishes are shapeless. They dissolve at the first difficulty. The brutal difference is this. Those who cultivate a definite desire don't just dream. They write, they declare, they commit, both internally and publicly. Hill teaches, don't just think of wealth or success. Define your exact goal, state what you'll give in return, and act immediately, even imperfectly. An undefined desire is like a ship with no rudder, drifting with the current. A definite desire is like a vessel with a charted course. Storms may delay the arrival, but never change the destination. And why do so many never arrive? Because they mistake obstacles for verdicts. They stop at the first no. They accept failure as final. But Hill shows, failure is only a persistence test. It's life asking, do you really want this, or were you just playing? Hold your desire long enough, and it evolves into creative obsession. Your subconscious works day and night, connecting ideas, shaping paths, revealing opportunities that once seemed invisible. In practice, every achievement begins in the mind and on paper. Write your goal. Speak it aloud. Read it to yourself every morning and night, until it becomes part of who you are. Repetition creates conviction. Conviction generates action. That's the moment you stop being a spectator and become the author of your own story. Definite desire isn't waiting for the future to improve. It's dragging the future into the present, even when no one else believes. So ask yourself, why don't most people allow themselves to desire more? Because they were conditioned to believe. That's not for you. Don't dream too big. Be content with what you have. This kind of thinking suffocates desire before it's born. But Hill is disruptive. He doesn't just allow you to desire. He commands it. Desire isn't sin. It isn't vanity. It isn't delusion. Desire, defined and sustained, is the first duty of anyone who wants to change their reality. And without it, no plan survives. Because difficulties will come. Criticism will come. Routine will weigh you down. Only those with a burning desire stand tall through it all. So the question isn't whether you have desire. It's whether you have the courage to claim it, to write it, to declare it, to sustain it even when the world doubts you. That's the dividing line between those who merely survive and those who truly build a life of meaning. And here's the inevitable transition. If desire is the fuel, what keeps it from burning out? Hill answers without hesitation: faith. The next step is transforming desire into absolute conviction. And that's what comes next. At the end of the day, it all comes down to one choice. You can keep treating your desires as distant daydreams, or you can decide right now that they are commands to your mind and seeds of your future. So ask yourself, what's the one desire you're willing to sustain to the very end, no matter the cost? What decision must you make today so that your life isn't just survival, but real achievement? Write your decision in the comments, a declaration to yourself: I will. Because the moment you write it, your desire becomes more real. Subscribe to the channel, share this video with someone who needs it, and leave your insights below. Your next victory might begin with a single decision. At the core, the truth is simple and brutal. The distance between those who conquer and those who fade isn't talent, luck, or opportunity. It's desire. But not just any desire. The world is full of people who wish they had success, who would like to change their lives, who dream of prosperity. They speak in vague phrases while their lives remain empty of results. The desire Napoleon Hill reveals is different. It's the kind of desire that becomes a mental command, a creative obsession, an uncompromising decision. And why does this matter? Because life will test you. It will push you back, laugh in your face, throw failure at your feet. In those moments, there's only one dividing line. Those with fragile wishes give up. Those with a definite desire press on. Barnes proved it. He had no capital, no contacts, no status. What he had was one thought, held with such intensity that the universe had no choice but to answer. He didn't become Edison's partner by chance. He became a partner because he refused to accept any other destiny. And what about you? How many desires have you abandoned because they felt too big? How many times did you stop just inches from gold? How many times did you trust the voices that limited you, instead of the one inside begging you not to quit? Here's the truth that cuts deep. Either you feed your desire until it becomes destiny, or you spend your life watching others achieve what you could have lived yourself. There is no neutrality. You either decide and sustain, or you surrender to mediocrity. So think, what is the one desire that, if you had the courage to fully embrace it, would change your entire story? Write it, declare it, turn it into a decision. Because the world doesn't reward timid wishes. It only rewards those who desire with enough intensity to turn thought into reality. And if that fire is already burning inside you, don't put it out. Nurture it, feed it, transform it. Because the only thing that may stand between you and the life you want is the courage to truly desire it. The choice is yours. In the end, everything comes back to one undeniable reality. Your life bends to the desires you refuse to abandon. History doesn't celebrate those who wished for change. It remembers those who decided, those who turned a single burning thought into a law written on their soul. Barnes didn't succeed because he had resources. He had none. He succeeded because he carried an obsession so fierce that the world itself had to make room for it. And that is the same principle Napoleon Hill hammers into our minds. Wealth, power, achievement. None of it starts with money, status, or privilege. It starts with desire. Desire is the seed. Faith is the fuel. Persistence is the bridge. And when all three align, you stop living as a spectator and start living as the author of your own story. So don't just watch these words. Don't just agree in silence. Write your desire. Declare it. Feed it. Obsess over it. Protect it from doubt, fear, and mediocrity. Because one day, the fire you chose to keep alive will be the exact fire that builds the life you once thought was impossible. That is the real power of a definite desire. Not theory, not hope, but the force that transforms thought into destiny.